day to everyone. So our topic for today is about the causes of crime. So there are many questions asked or being asked by sociologists, psychologists, anthropologists, and also theologians over the past decades. Okay, why would an individual develop a lifestyle of criminal activities? And why would someone make a deliberate choice to cause harm to another person or destroy the property of another? Okay. So the problem of crime has been a constant menace to society. Okay, from petty theft to robbery with violence, and crime continues to be a migraine to the government, and the rise of crime rates is alarming and testament to the myriad of challenges that face society. So the need to overcome the majority of these problems has led many government, okay, into seeking solution to a problem of which they do not know the causes. Okay. So first, we need to define what is crime. Okay. So when we say crime, it can be defined in many different ways. So different societies may also choose to define crimes differently. However, in general, crime can simply defined as the breach of laws that are laid down by the ruling authority of the land. Okay. There can be many different causes of crime, and many studies are conducted all around the world to understand and bring down criminal activities. It is a constant endeavor of government and policing organizations all around the world to bring down the crime rates so that the world becomes a safer place to live in. So when we say crime, crime is an act or omission in violation of criminal law and its legal point. Okay? And also, crime is an antisocial act or an act that is injurious, detrimental to harmful to the norms of society. So they are an unacceptable act in its social definition. And also, crime is also a generic name. Okay? Refers to offense, felony, and delinquency or misdemeanor. So when we say offense, it is an act or omission punishable by special laws, while felony is an act or omission punishable by the revised penal code, which is the criminal law in the Philippines. And the other one is delinquency or misdemeanor. These are acts, okay, in violation of simple rules and regulation, usually referring to acts committed by minor offenses. For example, is violation of municipal ordinances like jaywalking. Okay, those are delinquency or misdemeanor. Okay. So there are classification of criminals according to Lombroso. These are the following: born criminals, epileptic, insane criminals, and occasional criminal. Okay. So when we say born criminals, this refers to individuals who are born with a genetic predilection towards criminality. Cesar Lombroso believed that criminality was inherited and that criminals could be identified by physical defects that confirm them as being atavistic or savage. Okay. Another one is epileptic. So the epileptic criminals, these are criminals who commit crime because they are affected by epilepsy. And insane criminals, these are those who commit crimes due to the abnormalities or psychological disorder. Okay? These criminals are not criminal from birth. They become criminal as a result of some changes in their brains which interfere their ability to distinguish between right and wrong. Ito yung mga baliw. And while the occasional is these are criminals who commit crime due to insignificant reason that push them to do at a given occasion. So in these occasional criminals, there are types. Okay, one is the pseudo criminals. So when you say pseudo criminals, these are individuals that are not real criminals. They have neither any inborn tendency toward crime nor are they under the influence of any bad inducing habit. Okay? They do something criminal on account of acute pressure of circumstances that leave them with no choice. An example of this is a person who kill in self-defense. While criminaloids, it is sometimes called the criminoloid, means like a criminal or having a resemblance with the criminal. So from this, it can be said that criminaloid are not born criminals but non-criminals who have adapted criminal activity due to pressure of circumstances and less physical stamina of self-control. Okay? And the nature of their crimes is not very grave. So the habitual criminals, they have no organic criminal tendency. But in the course of their lives, they have developed some foul habits that force them into criminality. Okay? Some of the attributing factors are poor parenting, education, or contact with other criminals. And the passionate criminals, these are individuals who are easily influenced by great emotion. What are these great emotions? Like fit of anger. Okay. In this criminal by passion, the benefit of eliminating premeditation is also to lessen the probable homicide to manslaughter with no death penalty and limited prison terms. So an emotionally charged jury may even acquit an impassioned defendant. Okay. So there are also classification of criminals according to Garofalo. We have murderers. When we say murderer, those are satisfied from vengeance or revenge. But what is the difference between the vengeance and revenge? So in terms of context, revenge is more personal, while the use of the term vengeance implies justice and honor. Okay? So vengeance implies righteousness, whereas revenge is dirty, vile, or cheap, depending on the situation used. Okay? Next, violent criminals, those who commit very serious crimes. Thieves, those who commit crimes against property. And lascivious criminals, those who commit crimes against chastity. Okay? So, what is an anger? Okay? So when we say anger, this is an emotion characterized by antagonism towards someone or something you feel has deliberately done you wrong. So anger is one of the causes of crime. Okay. So anger or wrath is an intense emotional response. Okay. It is an emotion that involves a strong, uncomfortable, or hostile response to perceive provocation, hurt, or a threat. And anger can occur when a person feels their personal boundaries are being or are going to be violated. Okay. There are types of anger disorder. We have the passive anger and we have the aggressive anger. So in the passive anger, people experience passive anger may not even realize they are angry. So when you experience passive anger, your emotion may be displayed as sarcasm, apathy, or meanness. So you might participate in self-defeating behavior. Okay, what are these self-defeating behaviors? Okay, such as skipping school or work. Okay, alienating friends and family, or performing poorly in professional or social situation. Okay. To outsiders, it will look like you are intentionally sabotaging yourself, although you may not realize it or be able to explain your action. While the aggressive anger, uh, these are individuals who experience uh, aggressive anger, usually aware of their emotions, although they don't always understand the true roots of their ire. So in some cases, they redirect violent anger outbursts to scapegoats because it is uh, too difficult to deal with a real or too difficult with to deal with the real problems. So aggressive anger often manifests as volatile or retaliatory anger and can result in physical damages to property and other people. Okay. So what causes anger? Okay. Bakit ba tayo nagagalit? So a leading cause of anger is a person's environment, yung environment natin. Okay. Stress, financial issues, abuse, poor social or familial situations, okay, and overwhelming requirements on your time and energy can all contribute to the formation of anger. Okay, as with disorders such as alcoholism. So anger issues may be more prevalent to individuals who were raised by parents with the same disorder. Okay. The genetics and your body's ability to deal with certain chemicals and the hormones also play a role in how you deal with the anger. So if your brain doesn't react normally to serotonin, you might find it more difficult to manage your emotion. So that is anger. So in great emotions, there are many positive emotions and positive feelings in this world. Okay. And our understanding those positive feelings is very important to every individual. Okay? So positive feelings are one of the core elements to have in your life to enjoy well-being and the happiness. So these are the list of top 20 positive feeling words representing positive feelings and emotion. First is joy. When you say joy, joy comes from experiences which are delightful and memorable. When you feel that everything is right, when you feel happy, safe, satisfied, and comfortable, it is a feeling of great happiness and pleasure that lifts up the spirit. Interest, okay? Every human being has the desire to learn new things, okay? See new places, yeah. Humans are curious and eager to explore, and the feeling of interest comes from the curiosity. So when you feel interested in something, a person, a place, or else, you instantly become more open to the adventure and experiences you discover and learn. Next is serenity. What is serenity? In many ways, serenity is similar to joy because you feel that everything is right, and that feelings is followed by the tranquility and the peace of mind. So it means being in this state where you feel relaxed, when you don't have any worries, where you are completely calm or enjoying. That is serenity. Hope. What is hope? At a certain moment in life, you may experience some problems, and feelings, the hope means all those issues are not permanent ones. So it means you feel and believe things will change for a better, and the future is bright and beautiful. That is hope. Okay, gratitude. So gratitude is about appreciation for certain things and people you have in your life, such good health, great friends, and the family members, the talents you might possess, fortune, fame, and more are being thankful for it. That is gratitude. Kindness often involves affection and warmth, and this emotion is about being considerate, being generous, and friendly to other people. Okay? Surprise or pleasant. Okay? When you do not expect a certain event to happen, and if the event happens, which is not only unexpected but is pleasurable and desirable, you will be pleasantly surprised. And cheerfulness. Feeling cheerful means you are in the state of mind which is positive. It means you are optimistic and happy. Okay. Confidence. So in confidence, believing that you can do something, that you can accomplish certain goals, or that you will successfully finish expect or successfully finish particular task, means that you feel confident. Okay. Admiration. When you feel positive about people who are skillful, talented and exceptional, is something that you will admire those people. Okay? Admiration is a positive social emotion. Okay, yung parang iniidolo ninyo, admiration. Enthusiasm. Okay? This is the emotion you feel when you are extremely excited about something, when you are very interested in something. Okay? Euphoria. Okay? This emotion is something you feel when you are simply overwhelmed with an experience that involves great joy. Okay? For instance, you may be euphoric when your favorite football team is winning the game. Okay? That is euphoria. Okay? Satisfaction. So, satisfaction is the emotion you will usually feel after you fulfill a certain desire or need you had, but you can also feel satisfied when you help someone with something. Okay? Pride. So, pride is the emotion that's comes from feeling important and exalted for the things you achieve, or the things you currently do. Okay? When you achieve something great, which is considered as valuable in social terms, you will be proud of that achievement. So feeling proud has the positive impact on self confidence. Okay, contentment. Okay, the emotion you feel when you are satisfied and happy, when your mind is at ease. Okay, contento. Inspiration. Okay, feeling inspired comes from the uplifting experience, which is basically takes your breath away. So such as watching a sunset, which is simply perfect, being the witness of an excellence and more. Okay, amusement. So life is full of humor, funny stories, and jokes, and funny and playful experience that will make you laugh so hard. And in those moments, you feel completely amused. Okay, enjoyment. Okay, when experiencing or doing something you like. when simply taking a pleasure in something means you enjoy it. It's a feeling of pleasure. Okay. Next is awe. Awe is something that happens when you see or experience something truly powerful and great. Okay. And when you are completely stunned by all that greatness. So for instance, it may come from seeing things such as an impressive work of art, beautiful sunset. Okay. So this is the what we call an awe. Okay. And the last one is love. Okay. The list of the top 20 positive feelings and emotions is random, but the fact is love is without any doubt the most frequent positive feeling. Okay. Moreover, love is the emotion that includes many other emotions and feelings, such as gratitude, interest, joys, awe, and more. Okay. Love is an extremely strong feeling of affection. And it is the feeling that makes people feel good, feel happy, and it makes the life as beautiful as it is. So these are the top 20 positive feeling words representing feelings and emotions. Okay. So now I will now discuss to you the top causes of crime. Okay. So in the top causes of crime, before we can start connecting or concocting a crime solution that actually works, we need to dig for the root causes of crime. Okay. So only then we can find the right solutions that deal directly with the source of the problem, as opposed to limiting ourselves in dealing with the symptoms through punishment and measures. Okay. So there is no single cause to any disorder, including crime. Okay. So first is weakness. People are not bad by nature, but sometimes simply to resist the vicious demons that play on their weaknesses and cut their bond with the source of their power. So humans are good by default, but everyone is made of steel so as to defend themselves against the demonic forces. Okay? So there are destructive emotions and detrimental attitudes such as fear, ignorance, hatred, revenge, worry, envy, attachment, greed, ano pa? Lust, selfishness, yan, pride, impatience, discrimination, okay? Frustration, addiction, okay? Ano pa? Ambition, criticism, blame. So these are the destructive emotions. Some of the destructive emotions. Okay? So there are two reasons why weakness prevails okay, with some. First is the lack of faith, and the second is the imbalance. When we say lack of faith, not believing enough in the power of one's own internal weapon against inner demons, okay, such as the courage, tolerance, understanding, forgiveness. Okay, so these are only an example. Ano ba? Mercy, honesty, sincerity, honor, okay, self-discipline, kindness, yeah. As a result of not trusting inner resources, there is no enough motivation to develop them and use them. Kaya nagiging mahina tayo dahil wala tayo nito. Okay. And next is imbalance. Okay, most criminals are simply too strong physically, pumping up the body muscles but not enough the mental and emotional muscles. So the reason why their strength become weakness is because they are not balanced. Okay. So underneath all the weaknesses is a genuine human desire to do well. When we delink ourselves from our source, the higher power, we find ourselves either in a wrong relationship or in a wrong job or simply in a wrong place at wrong time, but also in a wrong state of mind, causing us to do the wrong things on the wrong side of tracks. Okay, poor judgment. In the one of the books, okay, wrote by Talija and Darius, state that lack of proper education and great role models cause many to fail to distinguish right from wrong. So in most cases, offenders don't think they are doing something wrong. Okay, it seems right from their point of view. Okay, poor judgment is also reflected in knowing it's wrong, but thinking they could get away with it, not getting caught. Okay. Among the psychological causes of crime in the United States are poor judgment and psychological weakness. So many of the perpetrator of crimes are more often than not the handymen or women. The crime bosses do very little to soil their hands. The fact many of these individuals give into pressures to join criminal gangs, okay, is enough evidence of the apparent psychological weakness that many of these individuals suffer. That is a poor judgment. Okay, next is lack of love. Okay. So living is a dysfunctional family or a disadvantaged environment does not cause crime. Okay. So according to one author, these factors can cause the lack of love, respect, and tolerance for others. So when there is a lack of love, respect, and tolerance, combined with other factors, a lifestyle of criminal activities can be treated. Okay, being raised in a dysfunctional family or coming from a disadvantaged background or feeling discriminated. Okay, none of it alone can cause crime. There are so many others in the world with such conditions, but nevertheless don't turn to crime. However, they cause the lack of love and respect for others. Okay, that endorsed with some other factors can be a major issue related to crime. Okay, next is poverty. So in poverty, the economic deprivation is a major cause of crime all around the world, yung pagiging mahirap. So people are often driven to greater lengths of desperation by poverty, and this is the major cause of crime all around the world. So the fact that prostration is created is in itself a very dangerous thing for society on the whole, as global inflation has risen significantly over the last few years. Although it does seem that in our world today, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Okay. There are those that believe that there is a strong connection between poverty and homelessness and the amount of crime in an area. Okay. This theory is known as the strain theory. In that social constraint, in that social strains on individuals to achieve upward financial mobility are causing those individuals to act out with the ways that are illegal, since legal means to achieve the upward mobility are not available to them. Okay. It was this strange theory of crime that motivated the Great Society welfare program to develop, and eventually became policy under the press. Okay, the policy became the policy. Okay. So next is deprived neighborhood. In the deprived neighborhoods, have some of the highest crime rates in Florida in the United States. So the absence of social amenities and luxuries that other more affluent neighborhoods enjoy forces many youths into crime. the realization that these neighborhoods are unlikely to change into the neighborhood they ought to be. Okay. Leaves only one option for many young men and women: break out of the poverty chain and move from neighborhood. Okay. So the fact that this is a difficult feat to achieve in the right and legal manner leaves many opting for crime. So the effect that these neighborhoods have on crime rates is very significant. So it instills within youths a desire to break out of the poverty chain. Okay, break out of the poverty chain they live in and whatever cost. So some of these youth opt to develop their talents, especially in sports and athletics, while some opt for crime. So the need to have equality in all the neighborhood, okay, is pressing one. So it is instrumental in removing the feelings of discrimination and favoritism that maybe individuals in deprived neighborhoods feel. So deprived neighborhoods are huge influences on the lives of many youth. So the fact that youth in these neighborhoods are incapable of accessing some basic social amenities leaves many of them frustrated. Okay. So next is being a victim in a chain of events. Sometimes individuals don't mean to cause harm but drawn into it by a chain of events that are beyond their control or influence. This is not being stated as an excuse but as a factor of individuals or a factor for individuals. Okay? So especially those who have been raised in dysfunctional homes and have not developed a disciplined lifestyle. Okay? So as stated previously, causation and harm can also be elements of criminal offense if the offense requires a bad result. So in the essence, if the injury is required under the statute, or this case is in a jurisdiction that allows for common law crimes, the defendant must cause the requisite harm. Okay? So many incidents occur when the defendant technically initiates circumstances that result in harm, but it would be unjust to hold the defendant criminally liable. So thus causation should not be rigidly determined in every instance, and the trice of fact must perform an analysis that promotes fairness. Okay. So next is the poor parenting skills. Okay. So in the poor parenting skills, children who grow up in household with loving, supporting parents have much better chance at becoming healthy, successful adults. But as all those who work with children know, though, this is not always the case. Many of them have to endure abuse, neglect, and other types of bad parenting practices each day. And this leads to serious emotional and behavioral problems that affect them throughout the rest of their life. Because of this, a great debate has started on how much the parents of children who end up being violent and aggressive are to blame for their behavior. Okay, I will ask this question to you. What do you think? Is the lack of parental guidance mainly responsible for children being violent, or is there other more dominant factor for that could explain child's aggressive behavior? Okay. So next is fatherlessness. So it is also one of underestimated cause of crime, yung fatherlessness. Okay. So there are facts to consider about fatherlessness. So in the U.S. Center for Disease Control, they stated that 85% of all children that exhibit behavioral disorders come from fatherless homes. Okay, napakataas, 85%. Okay. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 80% of rapists motivated with displaced anger come from fatherless homes. So kung makikita niyo yung mga walang tatay, kaya mataas yung rate ng paggawa ng krimen. Okay? Isa pa, 70% of juveniles in the state-operated institution come from fatherless homes. So mahirap pala yung walang ama. Okay? Fatherless children are also about 33 times more likely to be abused. Okay? Under these circumstances, you would think that there would be an enormous amount of research underway in an attempt to understand what is happening. Okay. So next is ecological. In ecological, it has long been known by police officers that cold winter, okay, that cold winter night keep criminals off the streets and the crime levels down. Okay. So crime scientists speculate that one of the hidden consequences of global warming will be an increase in street crime during mild winters. Okay, yung pagbabago ng klima. Okay. There are two main theories about why higher temperatures lead to more crime. Okay. This study was authored by Matthew Ranson. So Ranson said that the first is that when temperatures are warmer, there are more opportunities to crime. Okay. Why? Because people leave their windows open. Okay, more potential victims are out on the streets and people are more likely to get together and interact. Okay. That is the first theory. So the second theory is that the temperature has direct effect on human aggression. Okay, for example, okay, in laboratory studies, subjects makes more aggressive choices when they are in a hot room instead of a comfortable room. Whether they look at daily, weekly, or monthly data, there is a strong relationship between the historical temperatures and crime. Okay. For example, crime rates are highest in warm months of the year. Okay, next is fraudulent court rulings. Okay, in the fraudulent court rulings, double jeopardy cases try to make sense out of the jury system, which often makes no sense. So criminal cases are to be decided on the basis of whether the prosecution has proved beyond a reasonable doubt the elements of the crime, the ultimate facts that demonstrate the defendant guilt. But criminal juries usually don't have to explain their verdicts. They just say guilty or not guilty and then go home. Okay? So not every acquittal turns on one or two ultimate facts or any facts at all. So juries sometimes let defendants go because they like them or because they are confused or simply because they don't much care for the prosecutor. Okay? So that is the fraudulent court rulings. Okay. So next is overpopulation. Increase in population is the biggest cause of crime. And much of the world's worries, although population increase is related to each and every cause mentioned here, it is still needs to be looked at as a cause of crime. Okay. The increase of population triggers a dynamo effect in society. And this leads to creation of more problems with some form of frustration and resentment towards society. Okay. Next is politics. When it comes to some government policies, especially government welfare, state safety net policies, you find that there is a tremendous evidence that these programs, including some financial aid programs, okay, housing, ano pa, and other projects when it comes to their policy rules, have not just failed at their intended purposes, but have in fact backfired, leading to a social breakdown. Okay, it has led to a rise in welfare dependency, okay, poverty, illegitimate births, non-employment, violent crime, and possibly the abortion rates. Okay, but why do we continue to promote policies and government programs that end up having the opposite effect as their intended goals? Okay, so politics is often a cause of crime. It is seen that many political associations all around the world have their own mafias running, which they use to manipulate and subjugate people. Okay? Political power is often misused to take advantage of weaker groups and people, and the dissidents that rises out of such situations often force of victims to resort to crimes. So politics is more related to crime on a much larger and a much heinous level than anything else. Okay, they use politics. Okay, next is racism. Discrimination based on race is a serious issue all around the world. Okay, all humans are in a way racist towards some people in some part of the world or another. Okay, racism has contributed a lot of unrest to many places, and is mostly because of one or two idiots that such crime are given birth to. It is a sad fact of the world that we live in, that we end up discriminating against something that is the same flesh of blood underneath, even though the external appearance and the origins may be different. Okay? So racial discrimination persists and profoundly affects the life chances and routine situation of everyday life for racial minorities, especially in the United States. Okay, yung black and white Americans, merong gap yan. Okay, next is regionalism. Okay, when we say regionalism, is a major cause of crime and unrest among people. Okay, such people that harbor such a regionalist feeling often go to great lengths to commit crimes against other communities. This fact is often ignored by people and administrative bodies, as they too are caught up in classification of people by region. So it is often that a victim of such a regionalism get influenced and enters the world of crime. Okay, this means that regionalism should rise above petty pandering to chauvinistic, xenophobic, or individual interest to broader at unacceptable framework. Okay, while keeping in mind its core values and aspiration. So regionalism can not only be confined to formation of a political party and its existence. It has to be a broader, a more widespread phenomenon. So the problem arises when certain groups assert their authority over it, when the actual authority should lie with the people. Okay. So another is the family condition. There are a lot of things that go on in families that often cause people to get into a life of crime. Here again, there are a lot of different conditions that lead person to crime. So abuse during formative years from family members and other such acts also instigate a person into a life crime. Okay? People who are neglected by their families and do not get the love and attention that they desire also get into criminal activities. So family violence and other issues are also related into crime in many ways. Okay? So that is the family condition. So next is depression and other social and mental disorders. So depression is also a major cause of crime. Other than depression, people will grave mental disorder also end up committing crimes. Okay. Such people should be treated before their tendencies and the ailments get out of hand. A person under depression or some other serious mental disorder can also easily cause harm to themselves. Okay. So there is no telling how many crimes are done by people who have some kind of mental disorder, one which is difficult to control even with proper medication or psychological treatments. Okay. So we are often seeing stories in the news about people who commit violent acts because of mental illness they have. Okay. So next is drugs or alcohol. So drugs are vain no matter how we look at them. A person addicted to drugs is unable to support their addiction, and more often than not, they end up in a life of crime to fuel their habits. Okay? It is not unknown anywhere in the world that a drug addict ends up committing crimes to raise money for their habits. Besides that, there are also a large number of people that are involved in the drug trade. Though these people may not really be drug users themselves, they often lure others into drugs and crimes. Okay? Perhaps the person is impaired because of too much alcohol and ends up doing something that they wouldn't have done without impaired judgment, which would have left them in a state to more clearly see consequences to their actions, okay, and develop the mindset to fight the feeling or thought. Okay. So next is victim of unfair rulings and correction system. In this unfair rulings and correction systems, victims of unfair and incorrect rulings from court often cause people to enter a life of crime. So it often happens that a person is a victim of chance and happens to fall into crimes. Besides that, people are also often falsely accused of committing crimes which end up in a court conviction. Jails or prison often make worse criminal out of people because of the conditions that exist there. Okay. So corrections anywhere does not involve major rehabilitation for criminals, and more often than not, they end up being thrown in overpopulated jails. Okay. Full of people who are either victims or perpetrators of crime. Okay, more serious than their own. So the classification of people in prison is also a major cause of crime creation. Okay, and the last one is the peer influence or gang wars. So peer pressure is the direct influence on people by peers of or on individuals who get encouraged to follow their peers by changing their attitudes, values, or behaviors to conform to those of the influencing group or individuals. So this type of pressures differs from general social pressures because it causes an individual to change in response to a feeling of being pressured or influenced from a peer or peer group. So a person's peer group is the major reason and strongly influences a decision to commit crime. Okay? Youth may join criminal gangs where they can be respected in a different uh, way. Okay? So in gangs, antisocial behavior and other criminal activities earn respect and credibility for the group. Criminal gangs are usually focused on material things. Okay? And they have no fear because of their number doing a certain crime. So peer plays a large role in the social and emotional development of children and adolescents. So their influence begins at early age and increases through the teenage year. So it is natural, healthy, and important for children to have rely on friends as they grow and mature. Okay? Peers can be positive and supportive. They can help each other develop new skills and stimulate interest in books, music, or extracurricular activities. So, however, peers can also have a negative influence. Okay, what are these negative influence? They can encourage each other to skip classes, o yung mga cutting classes, steal, cheat, mangopya, use drugs or alcohol, or become involved in other risky behaviors. So the majority of teens with the substance abuse problem began using drugs or alcohol as a result of peer pressure. Okay. So these are the top causes of crime. So, and also there are types of these orders. Okay. So what are these type of disorder? First is the psychological disorder. So the term psychological disorder is sometimes used to refer to what are more frequently known as the mental disorders or psychiatric disorders. Okay. So mental disorders are patterns of behavioral or psychological symptoms that impact multiple areas of life. Okay. These disorders create distress for the reason experiencing these symptoms. Okay. So next is neurodevelopment disorder. So the neurodevelopmental disorder are those that are typically diagnosed during infancy, childhood, or adolescence. So ito ay neurodevelopmental, hindi neurodevelopmental. Neurodevelopmental disorders. Okay? These psychological disorders includes intellectual, global, developmental, communication disorders, autism spectrum, and the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or yung ADHD. Okay. In the intellectual disability or the intellectual developmental disorder, okay, was formerly referred to as the mental retardation. Okay, this type of developmental disorder originates prior to the age of 18 and is characterized by limitation in both intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior. Okay. So limitations to intellectual functioning are often identified through the use of IQ tests. So with an IQ score between 70 to 75, often indicating the presence of a limitation. Adaptive behavior are those that involve practical, everyday skills such as self-care, social interaction, and living skill. Okay, next is the global developmental delay. Okay, it is a diagnosis for developmental disabilities in children who are under the age of 5. Okay, such delays relate to cognition, social functioning, speech, language, and motor skills. So it is generally seen as a temporary diagnosis applying to kids who are still too young to take standardized IQ tests. Okay? Once a children reach the age where they are able to take a standardized intelligence test, they may be diagnosed with intellectual disability. Okay? Communication disorders, those that impact the ability to use, understand, or detect language and speech. Okay? So the DSM-5 identifies 4 different subtypes of communication disorder. Ano yung 5 different subtypes of communication disorders? We have the language disorder, speech sound disorder, childhood onset fluency disorder or yung stuttering, and the social or the pragmatic communication disorder. Okay. Autism spectrum. Okay, autism spectrum disorder is characterized by persistent deficits in social interaction and communication in multiple life areas, as well as restricted to repetitive patterns of behavior. Okay. The symptoms of autism spectrum disorder must be present during the early developmental period, and that these symptoms must cause significant impairment in important areas of life, including social and occupational functioning. And next is the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Okay. It is characterized by a persistent pattern of hyperactivity, impulsivity, and or an inattention that interferes with functioning and present itself in two or more settings, okay, such as the home, work, school, or and social situation. Okay. The symptoms must have been present prior to the age of 12, and that those symptoms must have negative impact on social, occupational, or academic functioning. Okay, bipolar or related disorder. So the bipolar disorder is characterized by shift in mood as well as the changes in activity and energy levels. So the disorder often involves experiencing shift between elevated moods and periods of depression. Okay, such elevated moods can be pronounced and are referred to either as mania or hypomania. When we say mania, it is characterized by feeling overly excited and even hyper. So the periods of mania are sometimes marked by feelings of distraction, irritability, and excessive confidence. Some people experiencing mania are also more prone to engage in activities that might have been negative long-term consequences, such as gambling, okay, and shopping sprees. Okay. The depressive episodes are characterized by feeling of intense sadness, guilt, fatigue, yan, and irritability. During a depressive period, people with bipolar disorder may lose interest in the activity, okay, that they previously enjoyed, experience sleeping difficulties, and have thoughts of suicide. Okay. Both manic and depressive episode can be frightening for both the person experiencing. So these symptoms, as well as family, friends, in the other loved ones who observe these behaviors and moods, safe. Okay. Fortunately, appropriate and effective treatment, which often include both medication and psychotherapy. Okay, anxiety disorder. The anxiety disorder are those that are characterized by excessive and persistent fear, worry, anxiety, and related behavioral disturbances. Okay, when you say fear, it involves the emotional response to a threat, whether the threat is real or perceived, while anxiety involves the anticipation that a future threat may arise. Okay, so there are types of disorder. First is the generalized anxiety disorder, which is marked by excessive worry about everyday events. Okay. Next is the agoraphobia. It is characterized by a pronounced fear, a wide range of public places. Okay. People who experience this disorder often fear that they will suffer a panic attack in a setting where the escape might be difficult. That is agoraphobia. Okay, social anxiety disorder. Okay, it is fairly common psychological disorder that involves an irrational fear of being watched or judged. Okay, the anxiety caused by this disorder can have a major impact on an individual's life and make it difficult to function at school, work, or other social settings. Specific phobias. So this is specific phobias. It involves an extreme fear of a specific object or situation in the environment. Okay, some of the examples of common specific phobias includes the fear of spiders, fear of heights, yan, fear of snakes. Okay. So there are four main types of specific phobias involves natural event, Okay? Ano yung natural events? Thunder, lightning, tornadoes, ano pa? Medical. Okay? Medical procedure, dental procedure, okay? Medical equipment. Okay? Another types of specific phobias is animals, dogs, snake, bugs, and situational. Okay? Small spaces, living home, driving. Okay? Those are the types of phobias. Okay? So next is the panic disorder, a psychiatric disorder characterized by panic attacks that often seem to strike out of the blue and for no reason at all. Because these people with panic disorder often experience anxiety and preoccupation over the possibility of having another panic attack. Okay. So people may begin to avoid situations and the setting where attacks have occurred and in the past or where they might occur in the future. So this can create significant impairments. Okay. And another one, meron pa palang isa. Okay, the separation anxiety disorder. When we say separation anxiety disorder, okay, a type of anxiety disorder involving an excessive amount of fear or anxiety related to being separated from attachment figures. So people are often familiar with the idea of separation anxiety, okay, as it relates to young children's fear of being apart from their parents. But older children and adults can experience it as well. Okay. So next is the trauma and the stressor related disorder. Okay. The trauma and stressor disorder, okay, related disorders involve the exposure to a stressful or traumatic event. So these were previously grouped with the anxiety disorder but are now considered a distinct category of disorder. So what are the disorders included in this category? Okay. We have the acute stress disorder. Okay. It is characterized by the emergence of severe anxiety within a month period after exposure to a traumatic event. An example of traumatic event is natural disasters, wars, accident, and witnessing a death. So as a result, the individual may experience dissociative symptoms such as the sense of altered reality, inability to remember important aspect of the event, okay, and vivid flashbacks, okay, as if the event were reoccurring. Okay. Other symptoms can include reduced emotional responsiveness, distressing memories of the trauma, okay, and difficulty experiencing positive emotions. So another one is the adjustment disorder that can occur as a response to a sudden change such as divorce, okay, job loss, nawalan ng trabaho, end of close relationship, okay, or some other loss of or disappointment. Okay, this type of psychological disorder can affect both children and adults. Okay, it is also characterized by symptoms such as anxiety, irritability, and depressed mood, worry, kung minsan anger. Okay, post-traumatic stress disorder. It can be developed after an individual have experienced a stressful life event. Okay, the symptoms of PTSD includes episodes of reliving or experiencing the event. Okay, avoiding things to remind the individual about the event. Okay, feeling on edge and having negative thoughts. Okay, so the nightmares, flashbacks, bursts of anxious difficulty, concentrating, exaggerated, startled response, and difficulty remembering aspect of the event are just few possible symptoms. Okay, and the reactive attachment disorder. It can result when disorder can result when children do not form normal healthy relationship and attachment with adult caregivers during the first few years of childhood. Okay. So symptoms of this disorder include being withdrawn from adult caregivers and social and emotional disturbances. Okay. Dissociative disorder. The dissociative disorders are psychological disorders that involves a dissociation or interruption in aspects of consciousness, including identity and memory. So it includes dissociative amnesia. Okay? When we say dissociative amnesia, involves temporary loss of memory as a result of a dissociation. The dissociative identity disorder. This is formerly known as multiple personality disorder. Okay? Involves the presence of two or more different identities or personalities. So the personalization or the realization disorder, it is characterized by experiencing a sense of being outside of one's own body, or the depersonalization and being disconnected from reality, or the derealization. Okay. People who have this disorder often feel a sense of unreality and involuntary disconnect from their own memories, feelings, and consciousness. Okay. And next is the somatic symptom and related disorder. This is formerly referred to under the heading of somatoform disorder. This category is now known as somatic symptom and related disorder. Okay. Somatic symptom disorder are a class of psychological disorders that involve prominent physical symptoms that may not have a diagnosable physical cause. Okay. So disorders include in these categories, we have the somatic symptom disorder. It involves a preoccupation with physical symptoms that make it difficult to function normally. This preoccupation with symptoms result in emotional distress and difficulty coping with the daily life. Okay. So it is important to note that somatic symptom does not indicate that the individual is faking his or her physical pain, okay, fatigue, or other symptoms. In this situation, it is not so much the actual physical symptoms that are disrupting the individual's life as it is the extreme reaction and resulting behavior. Okay, next is the illness anxiety disorder. It is characterized by excessive concern about having the undiagnosed medical condition. Those who experience this psychological disorder worry excessively about body function and sensations, are convinced that they have or will get a serious disease, and are not reassured when medical tests come back negative. Okay. So next is the conversion disorder, involves experiencing motor or sensory symptoms that lack a compatible neurological or medical explanation. In many cases, the disorder follows a real physical injury or stressful event, which then result in a psychological or and emotional response. And the last one is the factitious disorder, not fictitious, factitious disorder, which is used to have its own category, is now included under the somatic symptom and the related category of the DSM-5. So factitious disorder is when an individual intentionally creates, fakes, or exaggerates symptoms of illness. Okay. The next one is types of disorder. Another types of disorder is the feeding and eating disorder. Okay. Eating disorder are characterized by obsessive concerns with weight and disruptive eating patterns that negatively impact and mental health. Okay. So what are the types of eating disorders? Includes anorexia nervosa. When we say anorexia nervosa, it is characterized by restricted food consumption that leads to weight loss and very low body weight. Okay. Those who experience this disorder also have a preoccupation and fear of gaining weight, as well as a distorted view of their own appearance and behavior. Yung ayaw kumain dahil baka tumaba. Next, bulimia nervosa involves a binging and then taking extreme steps to compensate for these binges. These compensatory behaviors might include self-induced vomiting, okay, the abuse of laxatives and diuretics, and excessive exercise. This is bulimia nervosa. Okay. Next is rumination disorder. It is marked by regurgitating previously chewed or swallowed food in order to either spit out or swallow it. Most of those affected by this disorder are children or adults who also have a developmental delay or intellectual disability. Okay. And pica. Okay. When we say pica, it involves craving and consuming non-food substances. Okay. Kumakain ng mga non-food substances like dirt, paint, and soap. Okay. The disorder most commonly affects children and those with developmental disability. Okay. And binge eating disorder. Okay. In this binge eating disorder, okay, individuals consume an unusually large amount of over the course of a couple of hours. Not only do people overeat, however, they also feel if they have no control over their eating. Okay, walang patumanggang kumakain. Katapos lang kumain, kakain na naman. That is binge eating disorder. Okay, sleep-wake disorders. Okay, sleep disorders involve an interruption in sleep patterns that lead to distress and affect daytime functioning. So the example of sleep disorders is narcolepsy, okay, a condition which people experience an irrepressible need to sleep. Okay, people with narcolepsy may experience a sudden loss of muscle tone. Okay, insomnia disorder involves unable to get enough sleep to feel rested. Okay. Hypersomnolence disorder. It is characterized by excessive sleep naman. Okay, during the day or prolonged night sleep. Okay, breathing-related sleep disorders are those that involve breathing anomalies, include the sleep apnea or chronic snoring that can occur during sleep. Okay. Parasomnias involve disorder that feature abnormal behaviors that take place during sleep. Okay, such disorder includes sleepwalking, sleep terror, sleep talking, yan, nagsasalita habang nakatulog. Okay. Sleep eating. Okay. Restless legs syndrome. Okay, a neurological condition that involves having uncomfortable sensation, okay, in the legs and an irresistible urge to move the legs in order to relieve the sensation. Okay, people with this condition may feel tugging, creeping, burning, and crawling sensations with their legs, resulting in excessive movement, which then interferes with the sleep. Okay. So next is disruptive impulse control and conduct disorder. Okay. Impulse control disorder are those that involve an inability to control emotions and behaviors, resulting in harm to oneself or others. Okay, so there are types of impulse control disorders. First is the kleptomania. It involves the inability to control the impulse to steal, kleptomania. Okay, pyromania, it involves the fascination with fire that result in acts of fire starting to endanger the self or others. Okay. Intermittent explosive disorder, characterized by brief outbursts of anger and the violence that are out of proportion for the situation. So people with this disorder may erupt into angry outbursts or violent action in response to everyday annoyances or disappointment. And the conduct disorder is a condition diagnosed in children and adolescents under the age of 18 who regularly violate social norms and the right of others. So children with this disorder display aggression towards people and animals, and also destroy property. Okay, steal and deceive and violate other rules and laws. And the oppositional defiant disorder begins to the age of 18 and is characterized by defiance, irritability, anger, aggression, and vindictiveness. Okay? While all kids behave defiantly, sometimes kids with oppositional defiant disorder refuse to comply with adult requests almost all the time and engage in behaviors to deliberately annoy others. Okay, in neurocognitive niya, okay, substance-related and addictive disorder. Okay, the substance-related disorder are those that involves the use and abuse of different substances such as the cocaine, the methamphetamine, opiates, and the alcohol. Okay. So the example of substance-related disorders, okay, we have the alcohol-related disorders, involves the consumption of alcohol, okay, the most widely used, okay, and the frequently overused drug in the United States, the alcohol-related. Cannabis or yung marijuana related disorders include the symptoms such as using more or originally intended or feeling unable to stop using the drug. Okay, inhalant use disorder involves inhaling fumes from things such as the paints or solvents. Okay, stimulant use disorder. Okay, it is a new category now found in the DSM-5 that involves the use of stimulant such as the methamphetamines and the cocaine. Tobacco use disorder characterized by symptoms such as consuming more tobacco than intended, difficulty cutting back or quitting, cravings, and suffering adverse social consequences as a result of tobacco use. Okay. So next is the neurocognitive disorder. Okay. These are characterized by acquired deficit in cognitive functions. This disorder do not include those in which impaired cognition was present at birth or early in life. So the types of cognitive disorders, okay, first is delirium, not delirium, delirium, D-E-L-I-R-I-U-M, delirium. Okay, also known as acute confusional state that develops over a short period of time. Okay, usually a few hours or a few days, and is characterized by disturbances in attention and awareness. And the major and mild neurocognitive disorders have the primary features of acquired cognitive decline in one or more areas, including memory, attention, language, learning, and perception. So this cognitive disorder can be due to medical condition, okay, including Alzheimer's disease, HIV infection, Parkinson's disease, okay, sub or medication use, vascular disease, and others. Okay, personality disorder. Okay, these are characterized by an enduring pattern of maladaptive thoughts, feeling, and behavior that can cause serious detriments of relationship and other life areas. So the types of personality disorders are the following: the antisocial disorder. It is characterized by a long-standing disregard for rules, social norms, and the rights of others. Okay. Avoidant personality disorder. It involves the severe social inhibition and sensitivity to rejection. Okay. This feeling of insecurity leads to significant problems with the individual's daily life and functioning. Borderline personality disorder. Okay. It is associated with symptoms including emotional instability, unstable or intense interpersonal relationships, unstable self-image, and impulsive behavior. Okay, while the dependent personality disorder involves a chronic pattern of fearing separation and an excessive needs to be taken care of. Okay. Histrionic personality disorder. It is associated with patterns of extreme emotionality and attention-seeking behavior. Yan, yung attention-seeking behavior. Okay. Narcissistic personality disorder. Okay. This is associated with lasting pattern of exaggerated self-image, self-centeredness, and low empathy. Okay. People with this condition tend to be more interested in themselves than with others. And next is the obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Okay. It is a pervasive pattern of preoccupation with orderliness, perfectionism, yeah, inflexibility, and mental and interpersonal control. Okay, and next is the paranoid personality disorder. It is characterized by a distrust of others, even family, friends, and romantic partners. Okay, people with this disorder perceive other intentions as malevolent, even without any evidence of or justification. Okay, schizoid personality disorder involves a symptoms that includes being detached from social relationships. And the schizotypal personality disorder, it features eccentricities in speech, behavior, appearance, and thought. So people with this condition may experience odd belief or magical thinking and difficulty forming relationships. Okay, so I will leave you a quote, okay, from Cesar Chavez. He said that real education should consist of drawing the goodness and the best out of our own students. So thank you, and God bless.